Hello everyone. In this video, we will talk about antiviral drugs for RNA viruses. In the previous video, we have already discussed the antiviral drugs for DNA viruses. You can watch that video as well. So in RNA viruses, we have the positive sense single-stranded RNA viruses, negative sense single-stranded RNA viruses, and double-stranded RNA viruses. Now we will focus on hepatitis C virus and influenza virus because these are the viruses for which the drugs are available and in fact used. For other viruses as well, the drugs are being developed, but the efficacy has not been proven. So for influenza and hepatitis C virus, the drugs are established and that we are going to discuss in this video. So when we talk about influenza virus, we will know little bit about the structure as well so that we understand the drugs better. So this influenza virus has a coat, and on this coat are present certain proteins, that is neuraminidase and heme agglutinin, and they have different functions where this heme agglutinin protein is important for attachment of the virus to the host cell. So here we are seeing heme agglutinin is responsible for attachment of the virus to the host cell and hence entry of the virus. Then on this membrane we also have M2 channel through which hydrogen ions enter into the virus, and this is responsible for uncoating of the virus. Okay, so uncoating, actually inside there will be RNA. So this RNA should come out. For that there should be uncoating so that the membrane is removed. So that is brought about by entry of the hydrogen ions. So that is another. Then within the virus we have one enzyme, that is the RNA dependent RNA polymerase, and this is responsible for synthesis of RNA of the virus. Okay, so normally we see that RNA is synthesized from DNA. Here we have a polymerase which uses RNA as the template. So that is why the name RNA dependent RNA polymerase, and from this the RNA is replicated also, and there is translation of RNA into proteins as well. So these proteins which are synthesized, basically the membrane proteins are synthesized. So when the RNA is replicated and the protein which is synthesized, they assemble together and they again move out of the host cell. So this moving out of the host cell is by neuraminidase enzyme. Okay, so we have seen the functions of the different proteins, that is the heme agglutinin, neuraminidase and the M2 channel. So let us see what are the drugs available for the influenza virus. Well, the commonly used drug include the neuraminidase inhibitors. Okay, so this is neuraminidase inhibitor, and in these drugs we have Oseltamivir, Zanamivir and Peramivir. So among this, Oseltamivir is the most commonly used drug. Okay, and it is a prodrug, and prodrug means that the drug is going to have high oral bioavailability. So this Oseltamivir is used for influenza, both influenza A virus, influenza B virus. It is also used for bird flu virus, that is H5N1, and the swine flu virus, that is H1N1. And it is used both for patients and also for post-exposure prophylaxis. And we have to ensure early initiation of the therapy, that is within 48 hours. Why? Because you see that here it is blocking the release of the RNA virus from the host cell. So first it is multiplying within the cell. So this multiplication of the virus within the host cell is maximum within the first 48 hours. So for this drug to act effectively, it is important that it is given within the first 48 hours. Otherwise, the maximum damage to the host cells would already have been done. Then the next drug is Zanamivir. Zanamivir is not given orally because it has very low oral bioavailability, and it is given by inhalation as a powder. But because it is used as powder form, it can cause bronchospasm, and that is why it is contraindicated in asthma patients. So when is this Zanamivir used? Well, Oseltamivir is the most common drug used, but there may be influenza virus which is resistant to Oseltamivir. So this drug Zanamivir is used for Oseltamivir resistant cases. Then the third drug for these neuraminidase inhibitors is Peramivir, which can be given IV. So in hospitalized patients also we have now another drug, that is Peramivir, which is given IV. Then we have other drugs, that is the M2 channel blocker. So I told you before that via the M2 channel, hydrogen enters into the virus and is responsible for the uncoating of virus and release of the RNA, which then uses the host machinery for translation and replication. So there are drugs which block this M2 channel, and these include amantadine and rimantadine. Now these drugs were used before, but now they are not used because the influenza virus has been found to be now resistant to this amantadine and rimantadine. So now the drugs which are used is neuraminidase inhibitors. Now moving on to the next virus, that is the hepatitis C virus. Now for hepatitis C, before we had this combination therapy, that is interferon alpha given with ribavirin. So ribavirin is actually a nucleoside analog that we have seen in acyclovir in the previous video as well. That was also a nucleoside analog, and whenever we talk about nucleoside analog, then that drug needs phosphorylation within the cell. Okay, so this ribavirin also is a nucleoside analog, but it was given along with interferon alpha. Now this was a very long term therapy. It required like 24 weeks to 48 weeks of treatment. But now better drugs have come against hepatitis C virus, that is the directly acting antivirus, for which the duration of treatment is much lesser and cure rate is also better. So first we will see these directly acting antivirals. What are these directly acting antivirals? So this hepatitis C virus, again, it is a RNA virus, and as it enters into the cell, the RNA is released from the virus, and then there is transcription of this virus using the host machinery, that is the ribosomes of the host are used within the cytoplasm, and there is synthesis of a polyprotein complex. What is polyprotein? Polyprotein is basically a combination of lot of proteins. Let us see here. So here you see this is the polyprotein, where we see that whole protein is synthesized, which is having within itself structural proteins. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 different structural proteins are there, and there are also non-structural proteins. So these non-structural proteins, NS2, NS3, NS4A, NS4B, NS5A, NS5B. Okay, so NS is for non-structural. Now we have drugs which prevent the cleavage of this polyprotein which is synthesized. Okay, so here this polyprotein is synthesized and then it is cleaved by proteases. So there is NS3,4A protease which cleaves this polyprotein complex and releases the different proteins. Some become the structural proteins like on the envelope, other become the functional proteins. So only after cleavage can the virus assemble and there can be replication of the virus, right? Now if we prevent this polyprotein cleavage, then the proteins will not be released. There will not be any replication of the virus, right? So for this we have NS3,4A inhibitors. Actually these are NS3,4A protease inhibitors, and they prevent the cleavage of this polyprotein. So we will see when we will talk about HIV. There also we have this protease inhibitors which prevent the cleavage of polyprotein which is synthesized. So for HIV also similar mechanism exists. Polyprotein is synthesized and that is broken down. So in HCV also we have similar protease inhibitors, NS3,4A protease inhibitors, and these include telaprevir, boceprevir, cimeprevir. And how to remember this? See, they are having this term PRE. PRE is what? PRE is basically PR for protease. So these are protease inhibitors. Okay. So that is first class of this directly acting antivirus. Then we have second class, that is NS5B inhibitors. NS5B inhibitors. So they inhibit this particular non-structural protein, and this protein basically is RNA dependent RNA polymerase. So I told you that these are all non-structural proteins. NS, wherever it is written, these are non-structural proteins. So it is having some functional component. So that is the enzyme RNA dependent RNA polymerase. So this enzyme is inhibited. So this is NS5B inhibitor. So basically they are inhibiting the RNA dependent RNA polymerase only, but here because it is from the polyprotein complex, that is why here they are named as NS5B inhibitors. What are these drugs? These are sofosbuvir and dasabuvir. So here the B which is coming, that is for the NS5B inhibitors. Okay. Then we have the NS5A inhibitors. So these inhibit the NS5A protein, and these proteins are important for viral assembly and also for formation of the replication complex. Okay, see, whenever the replication is going on, replication means synthesis of new genome is going on. In that case, first replication complex should form. So for that also we need certain proteins. So NS5A inhibitors inhibit these proteins, and these are the drugs which are ending in asvir. Okay, so NS3/4 inhibitors, they are Previr, NS5B inhibitors are Buvir, and NS5A inhibitors are Asvir. Okay, so this A, Asvir, is for NS5A inhibitors. Okay, so those were the directly acting antiviruses. Now we have some recommendations for the use of these directly acting antivirals. First of all, they are never used alone. They are always used in combination. Okay, because this decreases the chances of emergence of resistance. So, NS5B, remember, NS5B is always used in combination either with NS3/4A. So, here we are having Cimeprevir plus Sofosbuvir, and here we are having NS5B in combination with NS5A. So, NS5B is always in combination either with NS3/4A or NS5A inhibitors. Okay, so that is one thing. Then we also have NS3/4A inhibitor in combination with Ribavirin and interferon alpha. So this I told you, Ribavirin and interferon alpha was used before and it was given for very long term. But with Cimeprevir given with Ribavirin and pegylated interferon alpha, the duration is less and cure rate is more. Then even this Sofosbuvir can be given along with Ribavirin plus pegylated interferon alpha. Okay, so first thing is that NS5B inhibitors are always used either in combination with NS3/4A or NS5A inhibitors or Ribavirin and pegylated interferon alpha. And similarly, NS3/4A, either you combine with NS5B, which we have already seen, or it can be given along with Ribavirin and interferon alpha, right? So those are the recommendations. Now moving on to the other drugs, that is Ribavirin and interferon alpha. Interferon alpha, I am not going to discuss what is the mechanism of action because I have already discussed in the previous video. Because these interferons are actually released from the host cells. These are the normal immune mechanisms which exist in the body. But when we are giving interferon alpha from outside, it acts by the same mechanism. It stimulates the JAK-STAT pathway and causes release of certain cytokines and also makes the cells which is infected with virus more susceptible for death by cytotoxic lymphocytes. Okay, so cytotoxic lymphocytes will be able to identify the cells better, the infected cells better, and they will be able to kill it. So I would suggest that you go back to the video on antiviral drugs for DNA viruses, and there you will get the mechanism of action of interferons along with some side effects as well. So here we will talk about Ribavirin. So Ribavirin, as I already told you, it is a nucleoside analog, and like all nucleoside analogs which we have seen before also in our previous video, that they need phosphorylation. So Ribavirin is phosphorylated thrice. Okay, so 3 phosphate groups are attached, and then only after phosphorylation it can inhibit the RNA polymerase so that the replication is not possible, and it also depletes the GTP pools, so that the nucleotides are not available to be incorporated into the RNA, right? So what are the uses of Ribavirin? Well, it is used in hepatitis C, as I told you, but it is used now in combination with NS3/4A inhibitors or with NS5B inhibitors. And it can also be used in respiratory syncytial virus in infants and children, though not much effect has been found, but still it is being recommended for use in immunocompromised infants and children. Okay, so it is used as nebulized Ribavirin. What are the side effects? Side effects include dose dependent hemolytic anemia. So as the dose is increased, there are increased chances of hemolytic anemia, and bone marrow depression occurs, plus there are certain CNS and GI symptoms as well. So that was about the drugs which are used for influenza and hepatitis C virus. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, do press the like button, do share the video with others, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel Physiology Open. Thank you.